Welcome to Ancient Tales by KANA channel, where we keep tales alive and forever.
Episode 48 The Origin of the Crown Property Bureau, the Monarchy Institution Assets. Have you all ever wondered how our King Rama X, King พระวชิรเกล้าเจ้าอยู่หัว has owned a lot of assets and heritages, regardless they are from the personal account or the crown account? Today, Ancient Tales by KANA channel would like to introduce all of us to get to know better what is exactly the origins of the Crown Property Bureau. Let's find out together. First of all, allow us to thank for the valuable sources of the information from the Crown Property Bureau at www.crownproperty.or.th. It was started back then in the reign of King Rama V, King พระจุลจอมเกล้าเจ้าอยู่หัว At that time, it was called กรมพระคลังข้างที่ or the Department of Finance nearby. Yes, you heard it right. It was called exactly like that, nearby, because the money was kept physically located nearby the king's bed since the reign of King Rama III, King พระนั่งเกล้าเจ้าอยู่หัว กรมพระคลังข้างที่ was changed to the Crown Property Bureau as per the King's Property Organization Act stated in 1936, which before it meant only the Crown's property, excluding the King's personal property. Later on, there were another 3 times changing of the details in the King's Property Organization Act in 1941, 1948, and 2017 accordingly. Lastly, it was changed again both name and regulations officially in 2018 to the Crown Property Bureau, which consists of both property ownership, the personals, and the crowns. In the reign of King Rama V, King พระจุลจอมเกล้าเจ้าอยู่หัว it was the time of the country evolution. The king had a grand vision to civilize Thailand further. He had a royal grace to revolt the financial protocol, to develop the annual budget plan for the first time in history, to ensure that incomes and expenses of the country were fairly organized, and of course, it was also the first time that he properly separated his personal assets from the crown assets in this particular time. Before, when Thailand was an absolute monarchy, the king, as head of state, owned everything in the country regardless of property income or expenses. The king had sole responsibility for its individual decision. King Rama V did not want to include his personal funds with the crown anymore. Thereby, he instructed clearly to กรมพระคลังข้างที่ the Department of Finance nearby, to be responsible for its separations including income and expenses as well. As we have mentioned before in the beginning of today's episode, since the reign of King Rama III, King พระนั่งเกล้าเจ้าอยู่หัว he was trying before to separate his personal funds from the crown's, because its saving proposal was different. He used to keep the profits he earned from the international trading with other countries in the red bags and kept them next to his bed. Once they became too many, he moved them next to his room. That was the original source of its name. How did กรมพระคลังข้างที่ come from? King Rama III stated clearly that the proposal of this amount of money was to back up. In case of our country ever falls into a bad situation, feel free to use it to help or secure our country's independence, which has been very right since Ratanakosin Sok 112. Siam had a critical issue with France. King Rama V decided to use the money from this part กรมพระคลังข้างที่ to compensate with France, and finally to be able to secure our Siam independence successfully. Ladies and gentlemen, the Crown Property Bureau is a juristic person and has the right to use any of the properties or assets in the Bureau for both commercial and public purposes under the authorization stated in the King's Property Organization Act, which was announced recently on the 4th of November 2018. Since the reign of King Rama V, King พระจุลจอมเกล้าเจ้าอยู่หัว at the beginning he spent this personal fund mostly for his own or his royal family expenses, the palace maintenance, or even to send off his royal sons to study overseas. But then, when the bureau was getting more profits, he started to have an investment in real estate business for both domestic and international. He instructed to build the commercial buildings for his Siamese people to have a chance to own their spaces regardless of living or trading, including the regional municipalities areas. He instructed to build a local market where we can meet and trade our businesses. At the same time, with the modernizations of the Ministry of Public Works, started to have a concrete road everywhere in the country. These were all the original informations we have gathered of the Crown Property Bureau on how it comes and gains so much wealthness until today. Hope you understand better and feel free to share your comments if you have any.
Thank you once again for watching Ancient Tales by KANA, where we keep tales alive and forever. Please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We look forward to seeing you all again. Bye for now and have a good day.